So we started class yesterday with looking at how much this family would need to deposit in their account if they wanted to have $150,000 saved up for their child 18 years later. Do you guys remember what that number was?
Yeah.
How much are they going to have to invest today? $51,072, almost $52,000. No problem. I got that sitting around, right? No. That's not realistic for most families. Most families are going to take some money that they've got, if they have any money laying around, they're going to put that in an investment and then do what slowly over time?
Slowly add more.
They're going to add more to it. These accounts are usually like, yes, give me all the money. And then they'll put that in some investment products and it will grow. With the idea being that you're not going to run to them like every month or every 2 months wanting to take that money out. You're going to let it sit there and grow and you're going to add to it. And then when your child is ready for college or whatever it is that you're saving towards, then you go and you take that money out. So I want to look at this situation here. This family is depositing $500, but not just one time. What are they doing? Each month they're depositing $500. I need you guys on page 129 if you're not there already. $500 each month.
Good if they can do that.
It's great. It's certainly more reasonable, more affordable than $50,000 up front.
Yeah.
Like most people don't have $50,000 just sitting around collecting dust going, gee, I wonder what I should do with this money. And $500 can still be a stretch, but that's much more reachable. That's more attainable for people than $50,000 all at once. They're putting it into an account that earns what?
6%.
What does the APR mean? Annual percentage rate. So 6% annually. Are they only paying it once a year? They're compounding it how often? Monthly. So what are we going to have to do to that 6% then? I'm sorry, one more time?
You'd have to do the thing where it's like 6% over 12.
Yes, we're going to have to do that 6% over 12 to figure out the monthly percentage rate. So how do I take 6% and change it into a decimal? Divide by 100. So 6%, we're going to divide it by 100. So in its decimal form, that would make it what? 0.06. So then we're going to take 0.06. We're going to divide it by 12. What do we get when we do that? 0.005. This is the monthly interest that's going to be paid. All right, so let's see if we can walk our way through this. So the family goes to the bank. They go and talk to one of those personal bankers because they want to open up this account. And they have how much money with them today? $500. 1 month later, the bank is going to deposit the interest into their account, right? Is the bank going to take any money away? No, they're just going to add it on top. So what do I need inside my parentheses here? Yes, because we're doing 1 plus the 0.005. So that would give me 1.005. Tristan, what?
Don't you have to have a certain amount of money in the account? Like for my bank, like, you have to have X amount of money in the account for like in an emergency account. But if it's like below a certain number for savings, then it's like, okay, well, we're gonna take out X amount like each month. Like, and I know for my checking it's the same. It's like if you if they took out like $7 a month or something like that.
Yeah, we're looking at a situation here where we're not going to like deal with those fees. Different banks have different rules for what that is. So, and we can talk at the end if you want to about like why they have those.
It's because like they need money to use to give back to other people as well, right?
And it's also because it takes a certain amount of upkeep just on their end, keeping track of your money, keeping track of deposits and withdrawals. Like somebody has to write the code that keeps track of that.
Yeah.
If anything goes wrong, somebody has to be paid to troubleshoot. So there's, like I said, we can get into it at the end as far as why some of these different banks have fees like that. Okay, so the bank is going to pay them interest. If it's been 1 month later, how many times will the bank have deposited interest on that?
One.
Just one time. So I'm going to put a 1 for the exponent here. But then the family walks in and they do what? Because it's the end of the month.
Add more.
They add more. How much do they add?
500.
They add another $500. So let's figure out how much they have in their account now. I want you to do just this part of it, the 500 times 1.005 to the first power. Thank you, Darius. $502.50.
The 500 at the end is like what is being added.
What'd you say, dear?
The 500 at the end, which is plus 500, that's what's being added each month.
This is the family's contribution. Where it said they're going to deposit $500 every month. This is what they put in at the beginning.
The initial.
Yeah, that's the initial. So basically, the bank has paid them how much at this point?
Okay. $2.5.
Yeah, they gave them $2.50. But it's free money. Like if somebody walks up and just hands you $2.50, you're not going to be like, no.
You gonna
Like,
keep it?
sure, I'll put it in my pocket. That's what happened here. Basically, instead of taking this $600 or this $500 and putting it in a Ziploc bag and stuffing it in between their mattress and box springs, they went and put it in the bank for safekeeping, and the bank said thank you with $2.50. It works. You wouldn't have had it if you stuck it in the Ziploc bag. You got free money. So how much do they have at the end of the first month after they go and make that deposit? $1,002.50. Not bad. Okay.
2 months later now?
So 2 months later,
Wait, where are you getting this?
where did I get which piece from? Remember we said they're depositing $500 each month.
No. The actual
So this
total.
is what they opened the account with. It's been in the bank for 1 month.
Oh, I
So the
didn't-
bank paid them interest on it. So that's how much there would be in the bank if they didn't walk in at the end of the month and deposit another $500.
I didn't know where you got the solution, but because I didn't put the exponent. That's why.
Got it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense now?
Yeah. No. Yeah. It did.
Okay, so
I
this
did-
is what they opened the account with.
Right.
Yeah.
This is what's in the account, and then they walk in and they make their deposit.
So we don't add the
Where are
first
you getting the
500?
number though? Because
Which
I keep-
number?
No, the solution because I keep putting this in exactly how you have on.
You're adding these two together,
Yeah.
and you're not getting
Okay,
1,000.
I'll type it in with you.
Okay.
Parentheses 1.005 parentheses exponential 1 plus 500.
Don't add the 500.
Don't add the 500 yet.
Oh, plus
So we just
the
write it?
502.
No. Just enter.
You just do the first part.
502.50.
Because think of it as a
Oh.
layer. Because
What was
Yeah.
I doing before? Let me just add
This $500 is the same as this $500. That's why I wrote it in green or in blue there.
Yeah, but why are they writing it before
Why are
the
you
details
doing
to
it
sign?
twice?
Hmm?
Like
just so you know to remember that it's
I know
there.
that we're not adding it to it, but like why are we writing it like before the rules to sign?
Yeah, why do you do that? Why did you do
Yeah, it's
that?
just
Why did I write it down twice?
yeah.
Because I wanted to see how much this was. And so I calculated just this part first because I wanted to see what would the account have before they go in to make the deposit. That's what I've got written here in black.
So what if we don't write
So
the first
purple is
500?
the same one?
Well, I'll show you why we're writing it down here in just a second, okay?
I mean, the blue is the same number, just.
Blue is the same number. I just carried it over. It's like when you're doing an equation and there's a part that you just bring down. I just brought it down. I didn't
But
combine
the-
it together yet.
Okay, but everything in black is the same.
Yep.
For the
The part that's in black here, that's the part in black right here.
Okay.
The part in blue, I just brought down, in this case over, because I didn't have down to work with. And then I combined those two together to get that $1,002.50. So far, so good?
So far, so good.
Okay. That's okay. I want to make sure that we're all understanding here before we move on to any of these other months. All right, so I'm going to try to keep my colors consistent. In black right here, this 500 that's written in black, that's what they opened the account with. This 500 that's written in blue, that's what they walked in at the end of the first month and deposited. Okay, so now we're moving forward in time another month. So 2 months after they opened the account, how much money?
Keep that on the screen?
Yep.
Okay.
How much money did they originally open this account with? $500. Okay, so I'm going to have the $500 here. And the bank is paying them interest on that, right? 1.005. This original $500 has now been in the bank for how long?
2 months.
2 months. So my exponent is going to be 2. Plus, this $500 has now been in the bank for how long?
2 months.
Not 2 months.
1 month?
This has been in the bank for 1 month.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry about that.
And then they're going to get paid interest for the 1 month that it's been in the bank, right? So this $500, the bank is going to pay them interest on that amount, but it has only been in the bank for how long again? 1 month. And at the end of the second month, the bank pays them interest on the first $500 that's been there 2 months now. They pay them interest on the second $500, which has now been in the bank 1 month. And then they add another $500 because they walk in and they're making their monthly deposit. So I'm going to add 500 more. So grab your calculators for me. I already know how much this is going to come out to be because we did that exact operation up here, right? I need to know how much this one's going to be.
$505.01.
You said 505.01 plus, and then we put this in our calculator already earlier, and that's where we got the 502.50 plus the $500 that they just walked in the door and deposited. So how much do they have now?
$1,507.51.
Why do you have to do that?
Why do we have to do what?
Do that thing with the numbers on the both sides.
I didn't do numbers on both sides. I tried to keep it from being confusing that way this time. We put this in our calculator and we got this. I brought my plus sign down.
Gotcha.
We put this in our calculator and we got this. I brought my plus sign down, I brought my 500 down, and then we added those three numbers together.
Yeah.
So far, so good?
Yeah, I just
Okay.
was behind.
That's all right.
Sorry.
We're trying to build a process here.
So you take a picture and it shows up there? How does that work?
6 months later. So now we're jumping way into the future, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I need your help thinking through this.
Export's gonna be 2
Yeah.
Wait, plus the 2 months before, right?
That original $500, so the one that I keep writing in black, has now been in the bank for how long?
6 months.
6 months.
Oh, what about, 6, 7, 8? What, don't you add, or is that like together?
What do you mean?
It includes the first and the second month?
Nope, this is just the first month's amount.
No, the 6 months later includes both the first and the second month.
Yes, it includes the first month and the second month already.
I thought it meant like after that.
Oh, no. We're looking at 6 months after they opened this account. How long has the blue $500 been in the bank for now?
5 months.
5 months. Because they did that a month after they opened the account, right?
Wait, how?
Hmm?
Wait, how is it 5 months?
This original amount that they deposited has been in the bank for 6 months. They made a deposit the next month. So it hasn't been there as long as this one. It went in 1 month later. So it hasn't been there for 6 whole months. It's been there for 1 month less. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have $500 that got deposited that has only been in the bank now for 5 months.
And then one for 4 months.
One for 4 months.
So wait, you're not counting the one where they deposited?
Oh, because this is
That's this one.
exponential. That's why it's adding on each one.
Mm-hmm. But at the 3 month mark, didn't they go and make a deposit again? I just don't have 3 months later up here, but they did make a deposit at the 3 month mark.
Well, they're
How long has that one been in the bank for now? 3 months. And didn't they go in at the end of the 4th month and make a deposit?
There's gotta be something
So,
that you can write so it doesn't, we don't have to do that 20 million times.
True. We're going to take it out 6 months though, because I want to look for a pattern here.
Okay.
How long has this money been in the bank for now?
2.
2 months. And then they made another deposit, right?
Yeah, 1 month. And then a new deposit.
Yes. $500 that got deposited just the month before. So it's only been there for 1 month. And then they walk in at the end of the 6th month and they make yet another deposit. That's a whole bunch of things being added together. And this money's only been there for 6 months, right?
What about after years?
Ooh, we'll get there in a minute. When I do 500 times 1.005 to the 6th power, how much is that?
515.19.
515.19. So on that original money they put in, on the money that they opened the account with, how much free money has the bank given them?
$15.19.
$15 that would be if they just put $500 in and they hadn't touched it at all. But every month they do keep touching it by adding more money in, right?
Smart.
The money that they deposited at the end of the 1st month has now been there for 5 months. When I do 5 times 1.005 to the 5th power, what's that?
512.63.
So on that money they've earned a free $12. What about the money that they deposited at the end of the 2nd month? What's that worth now?
510.08.
And this should be the last one that we have to put into our calculator because we've done the other ones, right?
Where did the pink 500 come from?
That's their deposit at the end of the 6th month.
I thought we already did the 500. Oh, never mind. Gotcha.
What is this one? 500 times 1.005 to the 3rd.
Sorry, I
No, that's okay.
the green one wrong. It should be 510.08.
510.08. My apologies. Thank you for correcting me. $500 times 1.005 to the 3rd power.
507.54.
507.54 plus this one we've already put in our calculator before. The one that's to the 2nd power, we did that right here. That's 505.01. Similarly, the one that's here in orange, we know what that one's worth. What's that one worth?
502.50.
$502.50. Every time they make a deposit and the money has sat there for a month, they get some free money on top.
But is it really free?
It really is free. It really, really is free.
Why do they do that? That they bank with them, that they keep it safe? Why?
Part of it's so they bank with them. Yeah. You would have no reason to take your money and leave it at the bank rather than stuffed in a Ziploc bag at your house if they didn't give you some reason to do that. This interest is a reason to do that. What do we get when we add all of those up?
3,552.95.
Not too bad. They've been making regular $500 payments, right? They've deposited money at the bank how many times at this point? There's their opening amount, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's their 7th payment into the bank, right? If they were just sticking this in a Ziploc bag at their house, how much would they have if they were doing $500 each month into the Ziploc bag?
3,000.
Remember, they've done it 7 times because it's the end of the month. 3,500.
Oh, so it's like
But
So how much free money have they gotten from the bank?
$52.95.
Cool, bring it.
Wait, so if it, okay, this is just months, but if you want to do years, then what do you? Oh, don't you do time and the end?
We're going to do time and the N. That's actually what we're getting to right here. 18 years later. Woo.
They're still making.
I do not want to do this to get me out to 18 years because this is just what it took to get 6 months.
You can just substitute 18, right?
You got it. You got it.
Well, but each time they're making a deposit,
It's 12 months in a year, so.
12 months in a year,
So 12 times 500.
not 12, 12 times 500 would be how many deposits they would have made or like how much they've deposited in 1 year. How
And
many
Times 18.
How many times? Let's just do the 12 times 18 because I'm curious how many times they've put money in the bank.
216 times.
Yeah, 216 plus that last one, so 217 payments in 18 years,
Where
right?
did you get this 17?
Because they do it in 18 years later, they'll add another 500.
They'll add another 500
So
on the
why
end.
would that be 217?
Look, in 6 months, how many times have they deposited money? Once here, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Oh, 7.
6. That's the money that's been in the bank,
7.
and then there's their 7th one.
Sorry.
That's okay.
And then that times 18.
Well, don't take it times, or just do the 12 times 18. What's 12 times 18? 216. So the bank has paid them interest 216 times, and then they walk in with another $500. So they have deposited money 217 times. The bank has paid them interest 216 times because they do it every month. Does that make sense? This right here, we call a series. A series is when the numbers have this pattern to them. We're multiplying by the same thing each time, but how many times we've multiplied by it is changing. But the number inside the parentheses is staying the same. To find a sum of all these numbers, we do have a shortcut formula. So that you do not have to do this all the way out like 216 times.
Isn't it APER or no?
It is not.
Or
A
is it
PERT
with
would
the
find if I just made up the deposit one time.
Is it with the E?
It is not with the E. It looks like this. We use SN, meaning the sum of n terms is equal to, I need that beginning amount of money, A, and we're going to multiply that times 1 minus B to the n power over 1 minus B. You guys do not have to memorize that. I do not expect you to memorize that. But I do want to use it right now. How much money do they keep depositing in the bank? $500. And we said that they've deposited money how many times? 217 times. Okay, they deposit $500 each month, so that's what I'm going to write down first. And then we're going to multiply that by this horrible looking fraction, but thankfully we can put fractions into our calculator. On the top, I do 1 minus. What is our b value each time? 1.005, and I have to take that to the power of whatever our n is, so however many payments they've made. So in this case, it's what?
2.17.
It's 217.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay. Because they've made 217 deposits into this account. Over 1 minus 1.005.
So how you into that?
Depending on your calculator, you might enter it a little bit differently, but on my yellow calculators, you're going to put the 500 in first, then you're going to open up parentheses.
Oh, you don't have to do anything with the SN?
Nope,
Oh.
you do not. So 500 and then open up parentheses, and then you're going to use the fraction key.
Oh my,
Did you guys put this in your calculators?
Yeah.
What'd you get?
195,000, no.
Yep, 195,000.
$195,144.98.
That's more than the first one.
That would literally pay for all my college plus, like, more.
So how did we get that number again? What were they doing to arrive at that?
They were putting $500 in the bank every single month for 18 years.
$500 in the bank every single month, which some months are harder than others,
Yeah.
but it's certainly a lot more feasible than $50,000 up front, right?
Yeah. And you're left with a lot. What did they, wasn't there a number they wanted, like 175 or something?
I think they wanted, what, $150,000?
Yeah, so they got more than
They
that.
got.
They could have gotten away with not doing $500 every month and still gotten to their goal, right?
Mhm.
I don't know how much less because I didn't do that. But they can have almost $200,000 saved up at the 18-year mark if they just put $500 every month into this account. Does that seem like a pretty decent savings vehicle?
Yeah, and
Is that what
it's
people do,
better
like,
than
for a
that.
trust fund, or what's a trust fund?
Trust funds or annuities, retirement accounts. I'll tell you right now, I did not listen to this when I was younger, and I really wish I had. I hope one of the big takeaways that you guys are getting from this is that a little bit every month over time
So long.
goes a long way.
So do you have to put this in? Can you just put as much as you can at when you can in the savings, and it should be okay?
But the sooner you start,
The better.
the better. So when you guys get jobs, and obviously some people have jobs already, but I'm not talking about like a part-time high school job. Like you are in a career job and they say, oh, we have a retirement matching program. Yes.
What does that mean?
Matching programs are where they say, if you kick in $100, we'll kick in $100. And we'll
So-
deposit that into an investment account.
Wait, put in. Okay, so you with the company and you already have your account for retirement.
Mhm.
Say you have like $1,000 in it. Then they match it and they put $1,000 in there too. So what if you're
Different companies have rules on this. A lot of them will say we match up to a certain dollar amount every month.
Okay.
And then after that, you are welcome to contribute more than that if you can afford to. But they will match it up to a certain amount.
So say you deposit like their limit is 200. So then you deposit 200. So now you're depositing $400 in your account. What
Mhm.
places do that?
There's a lot of places that do that.
What about not this school?
My
Not this
dad's
school.
job.
I don't remember honestly off the top of my head what the policies are here, but a lot of companies will have different types of matching. Some places the match isn't as great. They're like, we'll match you 50 cents for every dollar. It's still free money that they're giving you. So you put in $200 and they'll give you an extra 100 on top of that.
Then like why does the company put out $200 for you?
Why are
Yeah,
they willing
why?
to invest for you?
Yeah.
So
So you-
over time, again, I hope one of the things you guys are seeing is that over time this money grows.
Do they get to keep the money if they get fired or they quit?
If it's in your investment account, it is yours. If you go to a different company, that is still your money in your retirement account. It does not somehow revert back to who you used to work for.
That would suck.
Yes, it would.
So why do they do that? Like
So it's one of the ways that they can stay competitive with, like, say you have 3 job offers on the table, and they're all offering the same salary because they're like, this is what the industry pays. Obviously, they want to attract top talent. So if this is the most they can afford to pay, one of the things they might do is say, we can only pay you this much every month, but we'll match you every month. If you put $100 into your account, we'll match you $100. That's not a lot of extra money out of their pocket each month.
But
Each
it's a lot more
year,
into your pocket.
it's a lot more into your pocket in the future because that money is then going to grow. So they might be able to say, like, yeah, we could float you an extra $100 every month, but only if it's going here and it's going to grow over time. Because an extra $100 in your pocket every month, that might make things a little more comfortable, but that's not the difference between, like, not having an apartment and having an apartment. You know? That's like going out to eat a couple times versus not going out to eat. But if they can put it in a retirement account for you, along with your matching money, it's going to grow and you're going to have a much more comfortable future that you're working towards, and they can help you get there. So again, it's one of the ways that companies will try to attract top talent.
So you make a choice between which account you want to give it to them.
Again, every company is a little bit different. I can't answer specifics, but these are the types, like, I love the questions you guys are asking me, because these are the kinds of questions that when you're sitting down in an interview, these are the kinds of things that you want to be asking them about. If they say, well, what questions do you have for us? Do you guys have a retirement matching fund? What are your health insurance benefits? It's more than just what they're going to send you home with on your paycheck stub each month. There's a lot of other things that you can take advantage of. You know, sometimes they'll have free memberships to gyms. That's another way that they can try to sweeten the deal to attract top talent. All right. What I want you guys to spend the next little bit of time on, page 131, very last page with printing on it in your book. This is not horribly unrealistic. When we were talking about the car buying options the other day, the idea was you had to walk onto that lot and pay it off right then. Here, you've got 3 options. And these are more in line with the kinds of things you're going to be seeing advertised. If you show up at the car lot the day that you want to buy the car and you've got all the money for it, cool. Whatever the sticker price is, plus taxes, that's what you pay and you're done. There's a lot of no money down options. And then they'll say the terms of this arrangement, we'll let you drive off the lot today for $0.00. But then for the rest of the next 5 years, 72 months, by the way, is 5 years, every month for the rest of the next 5 years, you're going to have to make payments to us. Do you guys understand why it's 71 and not 72?
No.
Because
Oh,
today
the
they're going to
last
let you
one.
drive away with no money out of your pocket. And you don't have to pay them until the beginning of next month.
For the 70.
So once you get out to, like, once you've owned the car for 72 months, you got to drive it without any money down out of your own pocket that first month. And then every month after that, you had to make payments.
Do you do this when you did your car? Did you buy your car off the lot?
I did not buy my car off the lot.
It's like,
That's a
I tend to do this one.
wait, is that like?
But
Whoa, do you really?
yes,
Like, is it? Do you just
I've-
go in there with cash
yes.
and just buy it?
That's what I've been lucky enough to do so far.
That's lovely.
That's my parents.
My
I
dad did
have
that last
I
time.
have friends that, like, they outright owned their car. Their car ended up getting totaled. They were in an accident. It wasn't their fault. But the insurance covered the car. So
What
they
was-
still Like they got some, like they got all that taken care of, but then they needed to go buy another car, and the
Wait.
insurance payout was not enough to buy a whole nother car.
Wait. What do you mean? So the insurance says, okay, why would they give them money for a car that's totaled?
The whole reason that you pay for insurance is if something like, okay, let me break down how car insurance works. There's two types of car insurance that you can choose to get. If you owe money on your car, you don't get a choice. You have to have what they call full coverage.
Yeah.
Full coverage on the car means if you do something stupid in your car and you hurt someone else's property, their
Then you
house,
pay
their
for it.
mailbox, their car, anything, your insurance will cover those costs.
Will it really?
Why? It's your
That's
fault
what
when
insurance,
you're dumb.
but that's what insurance is. Insurance is paying regular amounts every month in case you do something
What if
stupid.
your car's paid off though? Like my car's paid off. So what's that?
We'll talk about that in just a second.
Okay.
So full coverage insurance covers that situation. Full coverage insurance also covers if you do something dumb and your car gets hurt. Because if you hit someone else's car and it's your fault, their car is damaged, that costs money. Your car is also damaged.
That costs money.
That costs money. If you are making payments on your car, the insurance will cover to fix your car. Or in the event that your car is totaled and not drivable, it will pay off whatever you still owed on the car. So that you don't have to pay on a car that you don't even have the privilege of driving anymore. That's what full coverage does. The reason that they insist on that, if you owe money on the car, is because if they're going to loan you money for the car and you can't drive it anymore, you still need to pay them. A lot of people, left to their own devices, would stop making those payments. I don't have the car anymore. Sorry about you.
Yeah.
The insurance company will pay off that loan. So
Wait,
the
wait,
bank
wait.
that loaned you the money will still get paid off even if you did something really dumb.
The bank, say that one more time.
Yep. The bank will still get the loan paid off
From the insurance company.
from the insurance company, even if you did something really dumb and now your car cannot be driven anymore.
That's how,
That's full coverage.
but it's not free money from the insurance. That's the money that you've been paying your insurance with. Right?
Sort of.
So
That's big idea, yes.
So what if like you don't hurt your car at all?
So if you own your car outright, you don't owe any money on your car. You are still required to carry insurance on it.
Right.
yeah.
You are still required to carry what's called liability insurance. You can choose to still carry full coverage, but you must carry liability coverage on your car. Liability coverage means I'm driving my paid off car, yay. I got distracted by a bee that flew in my window and I rear-ended the person in front of me. I know stories of people this has happened to.
What? It's just a bee?
A bee, yeah. Some people are allergic to them.
My dad could die. Okay, I guess
Right.
that's true.
Yeah.
Like, that would be kind of scary.
That would be scary. So with liability only, if you hit somebody else, your insurance will pay to have their car fixed,
Okay.
but
But
not
not
yours. It won't pay for your full coverage will pay for both. Liability only, again, that's what full coverage is. It's also much more expensive.
Can you get full coverage on your car that's paid off?
Yes, you can.
Oh.
Yes, you
But
can.
it's much more expensive.
It is much more expensive. But depending on your financial situation, for some people it makes much more sense. Because if you only have liability coverage and you hit somebody else's car, it's totally your fault. Your insurance will pay to fix their car.
Right.
Your car is now not drivable.
Right.
It might even be totaled. It might never be drivable again. So now you don't owe anybody any money.
You
Cool.
pay out of pocket to get a new car.
But you don't have a car either. If you have full coverage on a paid off car, they will pay for what your car was worth, which would give you money to go to the car lot and buy something else.
So
So
it's both.
what about you? You just be paying off your car, like boom. So
Mhm.
so you don't have full coverage?
I carry, and this is a me thing. I'm not necessarily making an endorsement here. My cars are paid off. I only carry liability, but that means I have to have a certain amount of money in the bank at all times
Really?
in case something happens.
No, like you personally.
Yes.
Not like me.
like, if I have like, I have to have that, that's just you like, oh,
Yep.
just in case. Oh,
Yes. Because not only that, with having my paid off car, it's not a brand new car.
Yeah.
If it breaks down, I have to have money to pay for that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So Ms. Bull, what happened